He will be sued. And I say will be because nothing has been filed yet by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Imagine this, working deep within the shadows of one of the country's most notorious prisons, a place where whispers haunt the halls and every locked door conceals a chilling secret. Now, envision what unfolds when one of the world's biggest music moguls, Diddy, once the king of the entertainment industry with unmatched charisma, is suddenly thrust into this grim, unforgiving world. Sounds like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, doesn't it? But this isn't fiction. According to anonymous accounts from inside the Metropolitan Detention Center, it's all happening. And let me tell you, the tales coming out of there are as outrageous as the man himself.
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
What makes this story even more gripping is how it all began. Diddy's arrest didn't just stun the public, it sent shockwaves through the prison system itself. Why? Because this wasn't your typical celebrity scandal or a fleeting rough patch. No, Diddy's charges were serious, steeped in darkness, and the courtroom drama surrounding him dominated headlines for months. But when bail was denied not once, not twice, but 3 times, it became crystal clear. This wasn't going to end with some cushy house arrest in a Miami mansion. Instead, Diddy landed in Brooklyn's notorious Metropolitan Detention Center, a facility infamous for its harsh conditions and unsettling reputation. And while most would crumble under such a dramatic fall from grace, insiders claim Diddy walked in like he owned the place.
And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven guilty.
But here's where things take a bizarre turn. An anonymous prison guard, who later left the job out of fear for their safety, has come forward with chilling accounts of Diddy's time behind bars. According to this whistleblower, Diddy wasn't treated like just another inmate. Not even close. From the moment he arrived, it was clear he was being handled with an unusual level of care, almost as if he were royalty. Rumors spread quickly among the staff. Why was he here? Why hadn't he been transferred to a federal facility like other high-profile inmates? The guard claims even the warden seemed unnerved, issuing strict orders to avoid asking questions and follow protocol to the letter. But as anyone who's worked in a prison knows, secrets don't stay hidden for long. The first red flag? The food. While other inmates choked down the usual bland, barely edible meals, Diddy reportedly dined like a king. Roasted chicken, fresh vegetables, gourmet desserts, served on a cart every evening, straight out of a 5-star restaurant. And it didn't stop there. Over time, more peculiar items appeared in his cell. Designer clothes, high-end headphones, even a leather-bound journal with gold initials. Hardly standard issue for someone doing time, right? Then came the visitors. The guard describes a revolving door of the rich and powerful, arriving late at night, well past regular visiting hours. These weren't your typical prison guests. Dressed in tailored suits, some were instantly recognizable. Public figures, business moguls, even familiar faces from Diddy's former circle. What were they discussing? No one knows for sure. But the guard claims every visit left the staff on edge, as though something far bigger was unfolding behind those locked doors.
With all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
And then came the glitches. According to the guard, the security cameras in Diddy's block would flicker and distort at the same times every night, first around 1 a.m., then again at 3 a.m. The footage would warp, freeze, or go completely dark before snapping back to normal. When the guard raised this with the tech team, they dismissed it as outdated equipment. But after weeks of the same eerie pattern, it was clear this wasn't just a coincidence. It didn't take long before suspicions turned darker. The guard began to believe this was deliberate. Someone, or something, was tampering with the feed. And it was during these mysterious blackouts that the whispers began. The guard described faint murmurs late at night while patrolling the block. At first, they chalked it up to their imagination, but the sounds grew louder. Laughter, fragments of words, almost like distant conversations. Yet, when they checked the cells, everything appeared normal. As for Diddy, he didn't seem bothered in the slightest. In fact, he often appeared amused, as if he was in on some secret the rest of them couldn't begin to comprehend.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there,
it didn't take long for the guards' curiosity to get the better of them. During one of Diddy's recreational hours, they snuck into his cell, desperate for answers. What they found only deepened the mystery. Hidden beneath his mattress was a piece of paper covered in strange symbols, nothing resembling any known language. Alongside it was a hastily written note that read, "Watchers, silence, loyalty." Behind a loose brick in the wall, they uncovered even more. A crude drawing of an eye engulfed in flames and a list of names, some of which matched the high-profile visitors who had been sneaking in late at night. That discovery was the guards' breaking point. Terrified of what they might have stumbled into, they resigned shortly after, too scared to stay. But even after leaving, the unease followed them. They couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Anonymous calls started coming in, and unfamiliar cars began appearing outside their home. Someone was clearly keeping tabs on them. Despite the risks, the guard decided to share their story, hoping to shed light on the unsettling events behind the walls of the Metropolitan Detention
Diddy's mom
Center.
has finally spoken out amidst everything that is happening right now. Janice Small Combs provided a statement to some outlets via her attorney. So she starts off by saying it's very heartbreaking to see her son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies.
If Diddy thought settling Cassie's claims would calm the storm, he couldn't have been more mistaken. Just days after that settlement, 2 more women stepped forward with lawsuits of their own, accusing him of similar misconduct. These new allegations detailed incidents that allegedly occurred decades ago, including one case involving a woman who claimed she was mistreated by Diddy and his associates while still in college. The timing of these lawsuits wasn't a coincidence. They were filed under New York's Adult Survivors Act, a law that temporarily lifted the statute of limitations, giving victims a chance to seek justice for long-past events. What's particularly striking is how Diddy's legal team has responded. They've steadfastly denied every accusation, calling the claims fabricated and branding them as blatant money grabs. His lawyers have been vocal, arguing these lawsuits are nothing more than attempts to exploit his fame and wealth. While that defense might resonate in some instances, the sheer number of allegations against Diddy makes it harder to ignore. Public opinion doesn't wait for courtroom verdicts, and for many, the saying holds true: where there's smoke, there's fire. For Diddy, these flames aren't just threatening his reputation, they're threatening to destroy everything he's built.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
Now, let's dive into Diddy's defense strategy, because this is where things get especially intriguing. His legal team isn't just playing defense, they're taking the offensive. They've filed motions to dismiss some of the lawsuits outright, arguing there's no credible evidence to support the claims. They've also highlighted inconsistencies in the timelines and emphasized that the allegations are too old to be proven. This isn't just about winning in court, it's about planting seeds of doubt in the public's mind. If they can convince people the accusations are exaggerated or outright false, they might be able to salvage what's left of Diddy's reputation. But then there's the question of witnesses. Reports suggest Diddy's team has been working tirelessly to gather statements from individuals who can vouch for his character or provide alternative accounts of the events in question. However, this effort has raised serious concerns about potential witness tampering. When Diddy was denied bail for the 3rd time, the judge specifically cited fears about his influence and the risk of him interfering with witnesses. After all, this is a man who has long been surrounded by people whose livelihoods depend on him. If he wanted to sway someone's testimony, could they even afford to say no?
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
What's even more unsettling are the rumors that some potential witnesses have seemingly vanished from public view. Insiders close to the case claim that a few individuals, once outspoken about their knowledge of Diddy's alleged behavior, have suddenly gone silent. While there's no concrete evidence of foul play, the timing is suspicious enough to raise questions. On a recent podcast, one legal analyst speculated that this might be the result of behind-the-scenes negotiations, where loyalty is bought, not earned. Whether it's fear or financial incentives keeping these voices quiet, their absence only deepens the intrigue surrounding the case. Adding another layer to the drama are reports of private investigators allegedly hired by Diddy's legal team. According to unverified sources, these investigators have been digging into the lives of the accusers, searching for anything that could undermine their credibility. From financial records to past relationships, it seems no detail is off limits. Critics argue that while this tactic might be legal, it crosses ethical boundaries, especially in cases involving such sensitive allegations. But for Diddy, who's fighting not just for his freedom, but for his legacy, this aggressive approach might be his only chance to tip the scales in his favor.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Despite these bold tactics, cracks are beginning to show. Legal experts have noted that Diddy's team is treading a very fine line. If they push too aggressively, they risk not only alienating the jury, but also turning public opinion further against him. It's a gamble, one attorney commented during a recent interview. On one hand, you want to protect your client's interests. On the other, you don't want to come across as bullying or overly aggressive, especially in a case that's already so emotionally charged. This balancing act adds yet another layer of complexity to what's shaping up to be one of the most closely watched trials in recent memory. And let's not overlook the legal firepower Diddy has assembled. His lawyers aren't just any lawyers, they're some of the most formidable in the business, known for handling high-profile cases where the stakes are sky-high. One of his lead attorneys, Mark Agnello, has a reputation for being relentless in court, a lawyer who doesn't just follow the rules but knows how to bend them to his advantage. In a recent statement, Agnello claimed that Diddy is focused, strong, and ready to fight. But how much of that is true, and how much is just smoke and mirrors? After all, the man sitting in a prison cell today isn't the same larger-than-life figure who once dominated red carpets and award shows.
In fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
Let's talk about how Diddy is navigating life behind bars. While the guard from the Metropolitan Detention Center hinted at signs of special treatment, let's be honest, no amount of gourmet meals or luxury headphones can replace the freedom he once enjoyed. And he knows it. Insiders reveal that Diddy has been working out religiously, focusing on staying in shape both physically and mentally. But it's not all smooth sailing. Recent reports suggest he's struggling. His latest court appearance shocked onlookers, with many noting how much thinner and older he appeared. Elizabeth Milner, a reporter for Law and Crime Network, described his transformation as startling, highlighting the stark contrast between his former glamorous lifestyle and his current reality. While Diddy's legal team insists he's in good spirits, whispers from within the prison tell a different story. Rumors suggest he's growing increasingly paranoid, convinced that someone in his inner circle betrayed him. This paranoia isn't just affecting his state of mind, it's shaping his legal strategy. Sources claim he's instructed his lawyers to dig deep into the backgrounds of his accusers, searching for anything to discredit them. However, this approach comes with significant risks. If it backfires, it could paint him as desperate and make him appear even guiltier.
It sounded crazy. Like I said before, they said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100, which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane. It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right.
So what's next for Sean Diddy Combs? His trial is set to begin in May 2025, and if convicted, he could face decades behind bars. But even if he avoids a guilty verdict, the damage to his reputation might already be irreversible. This isn't just about legal consequences, it's about legacy. For a man who built his empire on the image of being untouchable, Diddy now faces the possibility of losing everything he's worked for. But here's the million-dollar question. Is Diddy the mastermind behind this chaos, or is he a man caught in the crossfire of forces beyond his control? Could his downfall be the result of his own actions, or is he being targeted by those who see him as an easy scapegoat? The truth, as always, lies somewhere in the middle. One thing is certain, this story is far from over. As the trial date looms closer, the world will be watching, waiting to see if Diddy can rise from the ashes, or if this marks the final chapter in a career that once seemed unstoppable. Whatever the outcome, Diddy's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that no one is too powerful to fall. As the saga unfolds, more questions than answers emerge. Could Diddy's influence extend far beyond the music industry into something darker? And what about the guards' chilling revelations? Are they glimpses into a hidden truth, or simply the product of fear and paranoia? The comment section is open, and we want to hear your thoughts. What do you think is really happening behind the walls of the Metropolitan Detention Center? Is Diddy's downfall of his own making, or is he being targeted by unseen forces? Share your theories and opinions below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious and keep watching.